Let's talk about how to add an audio file to your lesson in Smore. Now, in the sample kindergarten lesson that I built for you, we had all these buttons throughout, especially for those primary grade students, to be able to hear their instructions rather than try to read those. So I just have all these little buttons that say listen, and it has the text that I'm going to say written below that. Might be helpful for parents or your students who can read, but they can click on this button and it opens a page with a play button, and they can listen to those instructions. When they're done, they can just close that out and be right back on the lesson. So how do we add that into our Smore? Well, first we're going to use this really great tool called Online Voice Recorder. It's super easy. You don't have to sign up for an account or anything. You just come here, make your recording, and download it, and then I'll show you how we can make that file available in your lesson. So we come to this website and we just simply hit the record button. As soon as we do, it begins recording. You can see that it's doing that. Whenever you're done, you just stop. And now we have options where we can play it and listen to how it sounds. We can record again. I love the option to do that. But when we're happy with it, we can just click save. It's going to be saving that to their temporary storage. And then we have to click this again where it says click to save in order to actually download it to our device. So I'm going to click to save. It's asking me where I want to save it. I'm going to pick my desktop and I'm just going to call this sample recording. Make sure you remember what you called it and where you saved it. Okay, so we have that audio file saved. So now how do we make that available in Smore? Well, there's a couple steps we're going to have to go through. First, we're going to need to upload that file into our Google Drive. So I'm going to come here to Drive, and I'm going to click New and File Upload. If you're not sure how to get to Drive, ask a colleague or reach out to me. I'll remind you how to do that. So we come here and we're going to upload a file. I'm on my desktop, and here's my sample recording. So I'm going to click that and click open. Okay, so it's pulling that into Drive. It's right here. The next thing I have to do is make sure my share settings are set so that somebody can actually access this that is not in my Google Drive. So I'm going to click on this and go to the share settings. And I'm going to need to go to advanced. It's showing that right now this audio file is only accessible by me. It's private. I want to change that. I want to make it so that anyone who has this link, which would be anyone who's in my lesson, can view it. Now, they're not technically viewing, they're really listening because this happens to be an audio file, but that's the option that you want. Anyone with the link can view. Click Save. Once you've done that, it's giving you a link to be able to share that audio file. So we want to copy that to our clipboard. Now we can come back here to our lesson. I'm going to need to click on Edit Your Flyer. Click on editing that. And the way I've added these, we're adding basically just a link. So you could certainly refer back to the video on how to add links into your Smore, because there are other ways to do this. But I'm just going to demonstrate it for you with the button, which is an option way at the bottom. That's how I've added these audio files. So I'm going to click on that I want to add a button. Here I'm going to put what I want that button to say. So in this case, I just want it to say listen. I'm going to paste that URL in this box. Now this next step is extremely important. You want to check this box that says open the link in a new window. If you don't, it's going to open it in the same window that your lesson is in, and students would need to use their back button in order to get back on your lesson, which they can certainly do. But if your other links are all opening in new tabs, that might get confusing. They might accidentally close it and then have trouble getting back onto their lesson. So just really important that you check that box. If you have any other text you want to show up, like in this underneath part, you can list that here and then click Done. So there's our button, and when I click that button, it will take me to that audio file that I can play and then return back to the lesson. So that's how to add an audio file. Be sure to reach out to me if you have any questions.